Hello, Laura and Athena. It's so nice to have you here. I'm super excited to talk to you too. As I was saying before I hit record, I totally need some abundance right now in my life. I love what you're doing and I want to hear all about how it all began. Love both of your energies so much. I know that Athena is an abundance coach and a mentor, and Laura is a yoga therapist and studying to be a yoga master or what is it?
So I teach yoga and I'm in a master's program at Loyola Marymount University so that I can become a yoga therapist, which is kind of like a yoga teacher who works more one-on-one and sometimes even in hospital settings.
Oh, that's incredible. Oh, I want to hear all about that. Okay, so tell us how about you, Athena? How did you get started in the abundance coaching?
Sure. So, about 3 years ago, I am a military spouse, so I'll start off with that. Um, I really kind of got into coaching and abundance almost at the same time. So essentially, 3 years ago, my husband found out that we were going to be moving from North Carolina to Washington State. And up until that point, I had really been thinking inside the box, really black and white, not really a lot of abundance mindset, right? Not thinking about infinite possibilities, and really under the control of the conditioning that I had grown up with, right? So that whole go to school, graduate, go to college, graduate, get a job, any type of job, it doesn't really matter what it is, just so that way you're making money, right? Find a spouse and get married and have a family. That's what I was taught to do. And so that really didn't match the military spouse life, right? So once we got married and we were on the precipice of our big first move, I really started questioning everything, right? So if we're moving from one side of the country to the other and everything's going to change for me, we're moving from family dynamics to another family over there. His family was there, thankfully, different friendship community. Everything was changing, right? Like the actual place, different climates, etc. And for me, it was really like, why am I still thinking about a job just being a job, right? Why am I thinking I'll just go there and do what I've always done and find another job? And that was the real kind of pivotal moment for me, turning moment that said, let's start to think differently, right? Like that's really when the questioning started for me. And so from there, I asked myself, well, what do I actually really want to do, right? What do I want to do? And from there, I took a lot of assessments because, again, this was not the kind of questioning that I was used to, with the conditioning of just get a job.
What did you do before?
Sure. Yeah. So previously, for the bulk of my employment, I was working in institutions of higher education, usually study abroad, foreign language programs, that kind of thing. Also some grants and that kind of thing. So, but nothing that really stirred me up like coaching in abundance, And so, so that's kind of how I got into coaching, was really this, big life change that said, hey, think differently. And this is what kind of came out of that was the coaching, teaching, and mentoring. And so, yeah, that's how it started.
Awesome. And how about you, Laura? How did you two meet? And how long have you been working together? As I just love it. I just would love to meet my, colleague that's like we vibe, which I kind of may have met in the real estate realm that we're talking. But anyway, so tell me how you guys met and how you decided to work together.
Yes. Well, so Athena and I were both taking a personal development course at the same time. And part of that course was looking for a mastermind partner. And so Athena posted in this forum, I'm looking for a partner who's, vibing with such and such. And I just saw her picture, could feel her energy in the words that she wrote. And I was like, me, hello, me. Yeah. And so that was about a year ago. And so we've been meeting online once a week for a year, offering each other support and encouragement and bouncing ideas off of each other. And through the course of that year working together, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Athena, but I feel like both of our lives has gotten so much bigger.
Absolutely.
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
You
So
know,
where are you guys in the world? Where are you located?
So I am in Orange County, California, originally from Missouri. So my abundance journey got me also across the country to California.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm in Monterey, California currently. We moved from
Oh.
Seattle to Monterey. So
how far away are you two from each other?
You know, it can be a plane ride away or a long car drive, but we actually get together fairly often. Just the other day, the two of us were out swimming in the ocean, getting scared because we thought we saw a stingray and all this. So we're off having adventures fairly often.
Amazing. I love it. So tell us how you work together. Like when somebody hires one, you get like, what do you tell us what you're offering, if you'd like?
Yeah. So, well, I work with private yoga clients, you know, developing what will be my full yoga therapy practice, you know, and Athena's been working with private clients. So over the course of that, we're kind of realizing that her coaching and my yoga therapy training is gearing toward the same thing. We're both looking to show people their own power. We're both looking to show people their own abundance. And we're looking to show people that they don't need us to fix them. Any kind of growth or discovery that they're looking for is already within them. So in some ways, Athena and I are both just mirrors showing people what they've already got. So figuring that we're both going for the same thing, why not combine our forces? Because, you know, when you come together, it's always more powerful. So one of the things that we are offering coming up soon at the end of this month, August 28th, 29th, and 30th, is an opportunity to have a 3-day online experience with us called 3 Days to Your Most Abundant Life. And it's going to be sort of a chance to get to know Athena, get to know me, what we're offering, share some of our experiences of abundance, and help reflect that back to people to show them where they might be experiencing abundance, and also shining a little bit of light on the areas of life that might not feel as yummy right now. And maybe that's where some love can be directed. Is that how you would describe this, Athena?
yeah. And I appreciate the differences in the way that Laura and I look at abundance, because I think we both have a very beginner's mindset, and really are trying to help people who are not even fully aware of what abundance means, right? Like a lot of people associate abundance with financial prosperity, right? And money and that kind of thing. And the way that we view abundance is deeper than that, right? It's, you know, the energy, frequency, and vibration that's all around us at all times that is really asking for us to allow it in. It's not the pile of things. It's not the stuff, right? It's not that stuff that's going to make us happy and truly fulfilled and feel very purposeful in our lives, right? It's this other stuff. It's this abundance. It's this connection. It's this creation. It's all of those things. And so that's what really changes lives and what makes people feel really lit up to do like whatever it is they want to do. And so we work together to help people become aware of what abundance is, and then how it can really integrate into their lives and change their lives to a life that they've only dreamed about. So that's really what we do.
That's so
And
awesome.
Linda, I really appreciate, Linda, that you shared that you were flying so high after a retreat experience you had, and now it's kind of like the lull afterwards where you're realizing like, sometimes things feel a little tight again. Because one of my beliefs about living an abundant lifestyle is that there's always going to be those little hits. You know, life happens. There's going to be the roller coaster that feels like it's going up and down. But what the underlying truth of that is, in my opinion, is that when we experience a feeling of lack or uncertainty, it's really just an illusion that we're looking at, an illusion that was crafted from our past beliefs. And when we believed something in the past so strongly, it did manifest, it did become solid form, it did become the experience that we're having. And I think where a lot of people get trapped is that they see the current circumstance and think, well, that's it. That's all there is. I guess that confirms what I believed. But the thing is, in that moment is the opportunity to flip the switch and say, oh, I see how powerful I am, that my thoughts created this current reality. Therefore, I am powerful enough to think a new thought, believe a new belief, take a new action, and craft a new future. So
I love
that's
it.
my thought on getting over that lack
Absolutely.
feeling.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, the programs that people have that, you know, they are living in the past, or they're living in, you know, that lack, you know, it can't just, like, I did a master class last night for realtors. It was law of attraction masterclass, all about all the things, clearing space, gratitude, setting intentions, prayer, all like morning practice, so much. It was packed. And, you know, the one lady's like basically saying how to change your mindset, you know, it takes time. It's like you don't brush your teeth once and you're good for the week, or you don't exercise once and you're good, you're fit, right? You have to continue to do it. So with the mindset and the old programs, that's the thing. Like, I've been working on my mindset for so long, and my money story. And I know that abundance, like you said, is not all just money, because it's relationships and love and like time freedom. And there's just so much, right? It's whatever your personal belief around, you know, your personal thing is around abundance. But I mean, I've been working on gratitude for 11 plus years, because I overcame a health problem and I started doing gratitude. So I'm all about gratitude. Is that part of your abundance workshop? Like, do you talk a little bit? Do you use gratitude at all?
Oh yeah. Do you want to comment on that, Athena? I can see you
Sure.
sparkling over there.
Sure, absolutely. Right. Because gratitude is the energy that when you're in it, it is the thing that attracts everything, right? I mean, like, that is the highest energy that you could ever be in, because not only are you giving thanks, you know, and appreciation for like what your current circumstances are, you can have gratitude for things that haven't happened yet, but that, you know, in your heart are going to happen, right? So giving thanks and giving gratitude for whatever that manifestation is that you have in the future that you want, right? And so when we're able to appreciate where we are currently and appreciate the conditions in front of us, but still be able to look ahead and say, this is wonderful, this is great, and also this is the next level, this is the more depth that I want to get into when it comes to abundance in whatever area it is in your life that you're concentrating on, and to be able to see that and know that that is for you and give thanks for that already, like, that's really what shortens everything, right? Because the only reason why we have any issues or resistance to having our abundance come into us is because we're not allowing it to come in, right? We're running up against that resistance, whatever it is. Maybe we don't believe that it can happen for us, or maybe we don't believe we're worthy, or, you know, there's so many different blocks that, you know, there are, right? But when we're in gratitude, it's like we have a superpower energy that allows us to see beyond that. So absolutely.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, that's so good. Let's see. So you have your course on the 28th, 29th, 30th. And how does that look? Is that like an all day thing, or like?
Yeah. So when someone signs up, they're directed to our Facebook community where they can, you know, spend some time mingling with other people, introducing yourself. There's going to be some, you know, little fun activities, but the video itself will be about 2 hours, maybe an hour to 2 hours a day at tops.
Nice.
on all three of those days. And it will be very interactive. There will be opportunities for meditation. People can type questions into the video and we can answer live. So it'll be very interactive and an opportunity for someone to maybe name their own blocks and name what they're calling in, because, like you were saying about abundance or about gratitude, appreciation, is that, we can have these practices, let's say 5 minutes in the morning, I'm doing a gratitude practice, but then we forget about that for the rest of the day. So what really we're encouraging people to do is to take these rituals that we usually reserve for a short period of time and extending it out into their full day, that you walk through the day with not a moment without a heart of gratitude. Even when there's injury or sadness, finding a cultivation of that feeling of thank you for this and for the good that comes of it in all things. And that's how I feel about all these different rituals, the mantra, the various types of meditation and gratitude, is that we're working with folks on how to extend that out to live the life of that principle, rather than keeping it hidden away at home and leaving your practice on the yoga mat or at the meditation cushion.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask you guys what your personal morning practice or rituals are, personal self-care or morning practices. And then also we didn't hear how Laura started into yoga and how long ago you began into yoga, and tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I actually manifested getting my yoga training, because at the time, those years ago, I didn't have a few $1,000s in my bank account to just sign up for a yoga training. So I heard through the grapevine, oh, in 2 weeks, there's going to be a scholarship for a yoga training to be won. And it's only 10 people in the whole world are going to get it. And I'm like, I got this. So I sent in the application, and guess what? I was one of those 10 people in the whole world who won this full scholarship. So already I knew that I was being guided on the right path. And, a similar kind of circumstance happened to get me my further education in yoga. And now I'm in my master's program. And all the way along the way, I was seeing those little breadcrumbs being left from me, that even when it felt like I was about to slam against an impenetrable wall, a way was made for me, always. And so what I loved about yoga is that for me, it's not about standing on my head or twisting up into a pretzel, which is what a lot of people think, oh, I'm not flexible. But for me, I love all of the yoga practices that aren't even the physical at all. I love the idea of diving deeper into yourself and realizing that the little spark in you is the sunshine, is the thing that connects us all. That's what I love. So really, to me, yoga is abundance. And
yeah, yeah. And it's healing. And I just learned at the retreat, they had Sarah Platt.
Plattfinger.
Yes. And so she is amazing, and she healed, and she says it, she had addictions and all kinds of things like a Gabby Bernstein, and she's healed, and she's just her essence. She's just amazing, like beautiful in and out, like just radiant. And you're like, someone asked her, how, and she said she's done a lot of healing, and she's hired a coach, and she has a coach, because we all have those defaults that happen. But anyway, I've done a lot of healing too, and I'm still doing it. I'm still on the healing and evolving. But she taught me some things about yoga that I didn't really know. And that was that, like, it's opening the energy. Like, there's just so much to yoga. It's not just physical. It's not just, it's healing. It's a lot of things. So that's powerful. Yeah. I love that. I love that you are into the philosophy behind it and all of that. So how long ago was that you manifested, and what did you do before? I just like to
well, the funny thing is, before I did yoga, I was an ocarina salesperson. Ocarinas are those little ceramic whistles you might know from the Legend of Zelda video game.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And I would travel around the country and travel around Canada selling these at huge conventions.
Oh,
And
wow.
I already have my yoga certification, but I wasn't really teaching. I was still doing this ocarina thing, which was fun, but it wasn't what my heart wanted. And so I told myself, I'm going to give myself 1 year to transition from ocarina salesperson to full-time yoga teacher. And so that was my plan, was 1 year. And the universe had a different plan, because then the pandemic happened and the world shut down and all those conventions were closed. So no more job, no more ocarina job. So what did I do? I reached out to a yoga studio in the middle of the shutdown and had the inspiration to ask, are you looking for new teachers? I mean, who would think that anyone would be looking for new teachers? But they were looking for online yoga teachers. And then I started working consistently online and then in person. And eventually I was teaching about 17 classes a week, which is a little bit too much. So then I backed it down a little bit to be more comfortable. But yeah, that was the thing, is that I was wanting to leave what I was doing, but more so, rather than running away from what I was doing, I was calling forward to what I wanted. So it
Right.
was not constricting into fear, it was opening into abundance. And then it just went lightning fast.
That's incredible. I love it. I love that the universe and God just kind of, totally orchestrated everything in your favor. And I love that that things are always working in your favor, and you probably both believe that. And that's just a wonderful belief to have. I feel the same way. So, your personal practices, we were going to talk about that. And so how many years? Oh, so you've been doing the yoga since the COVID shutdown.
Yeah, I started practicing yoga only about 10 years ago. So really relatively, I feel I'm very new to it, but I dove in head first. So I committed all the way. And actually my morning practice is a yoga practice, not the physical, but with mantra. So I practice mantra recitation every morning.
Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so I took I joined, let's see, how do I say this? I got my yoga training at an ashram, which is a sort of a holy yoga school. And at the ashram, there is usually a monk who runs it. And so what I did was I took this monk to be my teacher, and they gave me a mantra to practice, which is a Sanskrit phrase. And Sanskrit is an ancient language in India. Oftentimes when you go to a yoga class and you hear things like Shavasana, Sukhasana, those are all Sanskrit names for the yoga poses. So this monastic gave me a mantra to practice to keep secret to myself. And so every morning I sit at my special place. Yeah. Yeah. And I practice this mantra, sometimes repeating it over 1,000 times in the morning.
Is it private? You can't share it then?
I can't, I was told that I can only share with my spouse. And so I kept it a secret until I got married and told him on the honeymoon. And he hated having to wait. He hates for secrets, but I made him wait till that honeymoon because I wasn't going to break the holy rule.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Awesome. So what is your practice, Athena? What is your morning practice?
Sure. So my morning practice really is sitting down, usually with a book, anything that inspires me. Right now, it's The Way of Grace by Miranda McPherson. And I usually do that for my first cup of coffee, because I cannot go straight into like meditation or anything like that without falling asleep. Like if I don't have coffee, I will fall asleep. So I kind of start there, and then I do move into meditation after that. And I usually do, I really love Joe Dispenza's meditations. Kathy Heller does some really great meditations as well, as you know. And so I'll do that for about half an hour, longer if needed. And then I also usually listen to like a short video on YouTube of Abraham Hicks. They usually have those 15-minute ones, and I make breakfast while I do that. And then I tend to journal afterward, after eating some breakfast. So my morning practice is pretty intense in that like it takes up a good amount of time. I realize that not everyone needs to do that, but I personally love it. And also I think there's a lot of learning that goes into my spiritual practice as well. And so it's not just the meditation. I feel like I'm learning some different things that are interesting to me
Right.
as well.
For your coaching.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're just mastering the whole abundance thing. That's amazing. So is there anything else you guys want to share about your partnership, what you're offering, what can people do today to be more abundant? What can somebody do today?
Ooh, that's such a great question.
I know, I love that. That's a good question. I would say to open up to your own abundance in this moment. I actually did this earlier today. I had a moment where my emotions kind of dipped down and I felt like, oh, just, because sometimes you don't anticipate when the emotions are going to swing, right? So I laid down on my back porch and I looked up at our avocado tree and I saw how the light was hitting the tree. And I thought, I have never seen light hit a tree like that. And I just imagined the leaves soaking up the sun like they were drinking the sun in. And I realized that's what abundance is it's the natural receiving. And just like the leaf was opening up to the sun, I could open up to my abundance too. So if you're looking to create more abundance in your life, just take a moment to set the phone down, get off your devices for a moment, look at a tree and say, is there anything you have to teach me?
Yeah, I love that. Like the being present in the present moment, right? And what does the present moment have to teach us? Absolutely. I would probably say start paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions, because I think we can start to learn what abundance means to us. But it's really the awareness of what we're telling ourselves, what we're thinking, what feelings are we having, that really kind of tell us where our conditioning is, where our blocks are, and where we're resisting the allowing of abundance to come in. And so for me, that's really where I start. And just like what Laura said, whenever there is a dip and I have a block come up, that's where I start. And that's how I move past that block in order to allow the abundance to flow in more freely again. And I love the different answers that we've given too, because you can kind of see, Laura's yogic tradition answer coming up, right? And you can really see where my coaching answer kind of comes up. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're such a great team too, because we come at it from like different angles. And so we're able to resonate where people are, wherever they are in their awareness of abundance, or how they think and how they feel, and then also the spirituality level that they're on, right? Because Laura speaks a little bit more in those terms. I speak a little bit more in the, more coachy terms, in the mindset terms. And so we're really able to serve a diverse group of people because of that.
Yeah. And then what is your religious background, Athena?
Yeah. So I grew up Episcopalian, and I chose to be Episcopalian when I was younger. I went to church all on my own. But I did have a moment where it was kind of like, yeah, this is kind of in the box for me. And so I took a break from that for about 4 years. And more recently, and Laura has been very helpful in this, I've been looking at other spiritual practices and that kind of thing. And I currently go to the Center for Spiritual Awakening here in Monterey. So yeah, kind of moving away from that specific religious aspects and into spirituality. Mm-hmm.
The way I heard it today was that it's a man-made construct religion. And, and my son, like he's very spiritual, but he doesn't like religion, so we both are similar that way. We're more spiritual. And how about you, Laura?
Yeah, I was raised Presbyterian, which is so funny because Mr. Rogers was a Presbyterian minister. And one of my biggest goals in life is to be the Mr. Rogers of yoga,
I love that.
because I feel like he was all about sharing love, lifting people up, bringing people together.
Mm,
And I'm like, that's what I want to do with yoga. So he's kind of my hero.
um,
Um, and then as I went through, moving away from my hometown, I also started going to a spiritual center when I first came to California. This one was called the Orange County Spiritual Center. And it's a really great community. And they welcome all faiths. So you'll walk in there and you'll see a picture of Jesus and a statue of Buddha and all these other spiritual teachers. And they're like, everyone's welcome here. Let's come make the world a better place. And that's really where I am right now, is I am willing to embrace and bridge build between all
mhm.
of those.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how would you, like, do your clients have to believe in a higher power, are you thinking?
I don't think they have to believe in a higher power in the sense that is societally accepted, because I think sometimes when people hear higher power or hear God, they think, oh, you're saying I have to believe in the religious structure of my childhood. And what I would encourage people to do is find um, a bigger picture, maybe, rather than higher power, in that finding a way that you feel connected to something that's bigger than you. And that doesn't necessarily have to be something that you would pray to, but maybe something that you feel connected with. And that could be a tree,
Mm-hmm. I
That
love.
avocado tree.
an
That's right.
avocado tree.
Absolutely. This morning I was walking the dog and we walked and the sun was just so beautiful. I take a picture of it. It's like that. I remember being at a home inspection years ago in Michigan, and this little boy was with his grandma. The grandma was buying a house and he was like 4 years old, and he pointed up at the sun and he goes, "That's God." And I was like, "You're probably right. You're
I
probably right."
can't. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. He's a little boy going, "See that? That's God." And I'm like, "Oh my God, probably is." I don't know, but
That, yeah. And well, and to, to be part of abundance, to learn about it, to know it, to feel it, right? I mean, I think Laura and I both also believe in the oneness of it all, right? So it doesn't matter what we call it. We can call it God, we can call it a different goddess name, or, whatever, the universe, infinite intelligence. There's so many. We don't personally have anything that we want our clients to call it. We just want them to
be open.
feel that there's something that's bigger than them. Like Laura said, there's connection to something that's bigger, and that's where the infinite possibilities and the abundance flows.
Yeah, awesome. So who do you follow? You mentioned Joe Dispenza, and are you Gabby Bernstein followers?
Gabby Bernstein was one of the first teachers that really got me fired up about all of this, and there are, actually one of the first people that I ever started following is still kind of unknown at this point. Her name is Nicole Castile. And she was the one who first helped me break out of the box, because I was feeling very, like Athena said, very rigid, very black and white. And she was kind of off the wall, even for me. Now I'm the off the wall one. but
Awesome.
um, it was like what I felt from Nicole Castile was that I had permission. And that was what I needed. I needed permission. And when she kind of subtly gave me that, I ran with it. Now all I'm trying to do is pass out permission like it's a deck of cards, especially in my yoga classes. It's like permission, 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 do what you need. And so
Exactly.
that's such a big thing for me. So yeah, I would say if she's still building an online presence, look up Nicole Castile.
I think I've heard of her actually. I did hear of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Dispenza is amazing. Are you Athena, who's your favorite like author or spiritual leader or
I think that the other person that I really gravitated toward after I left the Episcopal Church and was looking for a different relationship, you know, with a higher power. And I think that we all actually have this person in common, is Gina DeVee.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. We've taken some of her classes. That's actually the platform that Laura and I met on. And I know that you did a podcast at one point. You did one of her programs as well, right?
oh yeah. I drove to Chicago to meet her for the white party in the winter. I drove 4.5 hours and then I flew to Miami. That's what changed my whole life is I went to Miami to her Divine Direction. Not everyone knows about her, so that's really cool that we know her. Yeah, and I went to Miami for 3 days, and the final night in the hotel restroom, I was washing my hands, Italian restaurant, and I said I had a divine download that I belonged in Florida, and I changed my entire life last year and moved, sold my house at 25 years. My son graduated college. I moved to Florida. I changed my whole life. And yeah, no, I love Gina and her book, The Audacity to Be Queen, right? And I saw you guys' video earlier that said, you know, Queen, we're in the retreat because, you know, that's what queens do. And it's like such a wonderful message, such a powerful message. Oh my gosh, she's awesome. So, you guys met through Gina? That's awesome.
Yeah, we were part of her Q Club
Um,
last year, and that's kind of how we got connected. So, yep.
but are you guys also Kathy Heller Abundant Ever After or something?
Oh yeah, we went through Abundant Ever After. And you know, that's, you know, I love taking programs that get me fired up. And I love offering programs based on my knowledge and skill set, because part of abundance is realizing that we're all little pieces of the puzzle. And as soon as we start putting those puzzle pieces together, you know, taking a course from this person or that person, opening your mind in this way or that way, eventually you realize that you've put several puzzle pieces together and you're starting to see a new picture.
I love that analogy. It's so true. So true. And we can share. You're always gaining, like, you know, and I pretty much just take what I like, you know, what I hear from whoever, what I like. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's usually a lot of permission, right? They're all giving us permission. And then we can do that too. We can share that message because it's needed. It's really needed. So it's amazing that you guys are doing what you're doing. Anything else you want to share at this time?
Yeah, I would want to invite anyone who is seeking the experience of more in their life, or even the flip side of that, if you're feeling like something's missing and you don't know quite how to fill it up, come to our 3-day online experience, you know, and just see what's there for you. That's the thing, is you don't necessarily have to walk into something with an expectation, but you can walk into it with hopeful curiosity and then see what happens from that.
Absolutely. So
Beautifully said.
Yes, the 28th, 29th, and 30th of August. And is the link, you're going to give me the link to put in the show notes?
Yeah, I will definitely.
Yep. It's abundancequeens.com/most abundant life, but we'll also message it to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think abundancequeens.com/
most abundant life.
Oh, most abundant life. Oh my God, who doesn't want that? I mean, come on. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So here's one quick question. What do you think about who you associate with, like your energy? Do you work on like energy protection and staying away from certain people, or are you just this like loving, compassionate being that's helping other? I mean, because I have certain people that I try to only associate. I mean, it sounds kind of mean or bad, but I try to only associate with people I want to be like, or that are high vibe, or that have what I want, like that kind of thing. But then you're kind of alone a lot because you just are. So
yeah, I feel like in some cases, when you know you're going to be around someone who's not quite at your vibrational level or your experience, that even if you have to be, like it's someone you work with, I do have meditations and ways to feel that you're kind of
Protected.
spiritually protecting yourself. I love the image of imagining you have an umbrella and it pops up, you know how an umbrella pops and you're shielded. And so imagining you popped an umbrella and whatever energy they have is just bouncing off the umbrella. It's not even getting to you.
I love that.
But I also do believe that if someone is a part of your life and they are sucking energy out of you and just making you feel drained and sick, that it is okay to compassionately step away from that relationship. That sometimes when you walk away from a relationship, you're also setting that other person free from your own expectations and judgments. You're freeing them too.
I love that. Yeah. And you're creating space for someone else. And yeah, I agree so much. I love that. And I know Kyle Gray, he did like a prayer where he feels like he's putting on armor, like an armor or something. Yeah. How about you, Athena? And do you have anything to say on that about energy protection, or do you feel that's important to do?
Sure. Energy protection. I think you can also, if you're going into circumstances where you know that your energy might be pulled from you, right? Holding something or taking something with you, like a rock or crystal, or even just like a little shawl, right? So you actually have something that is physical and a reminder that when you are starting to feel like your energy is being sucked from you, you can put it on or you can hold it in your hand and be like, okay, I'm very present with what is right now. And then when I get home, I'm going to take off my shawl and I'm going to put it somewhere, or I'm going to drop this rock off and, I'm going to leave it all there. And then I'm going to leave the energy where it was, basically. Right. I think the flip side of that also, though, and the really important part here, is having a high vibe community, right? Being in those communities where, you are thinking similar things, you do have similar beliefs, you are at, the same vibrational level, and you are helping each other continue to be there and rise even more, right? And that's why, events like that we're going to have at the end of August is really important. The community that we're going to have in the Facebook group and being live with everyone and allowing everyone to really be in a place where we're all thinking similar things. We're all on our abundance journey and we're all looking for that, because, not everyone is. And that's okay. And this particular container, this 3-day experience, is for those people. And so we're just so excited to be with them and to share that with them and be in that together and have that abundant community.
Awesome. And there's a Sanskrit word for that as well, called Sangha. And it means a like-minded community that comes together. That's your people, your Sangha.
I need to find my Sangha. I mean, that's true. My son's similar. He was saying that just recently, and it's just hard to find because those people, but I might be in that class, your August 28th, 29th, 30th. I would love it. I was so excited to just talk to you guys today for this exact reason, to be around like-minded people. It's so powerful. So what else do you see in the future for you two? And we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I'm working on my master's degree right now. So I still have 2 years on that. It's a 3-year program, so it's kind of intense, but I'm looking forward to graduating, being a full yoga therapist. My husband's actually studying to be a marriage and family therapist. So we're just going to be all the kinds of therapists in my household.
Yeah, healer.
Yeah, we should get our dog a dog therapy so that he can be part of this too.
Yes.
But we want to create an integrative health center together where someone can come and receive, more traditional forms of therapy, yoga therapy, massage therapy. We want it to be all in one place, because I feel like oftentimes, especially in the United States, it's very separated. You go to the hospital to get your bone patched up, or you go to the yoga studio to work on your mind and your spirit. And so I think they can be integrated. And so that's really what I see myself doing as I continue to progress down this journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, And for me, continuing to work one-on-one with clients, as well as groups online and in person, around abundance is really where I'm called. And so, that's one of the reasons why I also love our partnership, because we are both doing individual things, and then we come together and we have these free 3-day events, that are standalone things where people can come and get filled up, in that high vibe community. And then we do joint courses, to stay in that high vibeness and to deepen into, the many levels of abundance. And so, so I love that partnership with Laura, because I think it's also a little bit different, in that a lot of coaches don't necessarily come together and work together. And, yoga therapists and coaches don't necessarily have programs together. But again, I think that's what makes us so
Unique.
so unique. Yes.
Yeah, and special, and you both have amazing energy. I mean, and Athena, I was listening to I'm like, she's adorable. You are adorable. Your voice,
Thank you.
everything in your meditations. I was like, oh my God, it's so cute.
And people get obsessed with Athena because she is so perfect. Like my mom and stepdad watch every single video that she comes out with. Like they watch more of her videos than mine. Like she is amazing.
Yeah,
You
like
guys are both very kind. Thank you.
it's amazing. No, we all, that's the other thing, like truthfully, if we are all one connected, it's like when you're helping someone else, you're helping yourself. What I see in you guys, I was interviewing someone on the show and I was emotional. I grow every day. Like I literally am not the same person I was yesterday, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. I am literally grow constantly. I had a lot of trauma, like a lot of negative stuff in my life. No one knows that. They can't see it looking at me. They don't know. But anyway, the point is, I had this woman on, she wrote a book, she's amazing. And I said, I love her and all these things about her. I was like raving. And she's like, what you see in me is in you. And I was like, I had never thought of that in the positive. I literally started crying on the podcast. Because at that time I was, like I said, different. And because when we criticize another or judge another, it's something, a mirror, it's something in us that a disowned part of our own shadow or whatever. I believe that. So why wouldn't it be when I see light in someone else? Why wouldn't it be in me too? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Absolutely resonating with what you're attracted to, because it is you. It is part of you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So nice. Laura, you're crying or something.
No, I'm looking at you right now. And, one of the practices I've done in the past is you sit in a circle of people and you turn to the person on your right and you look into their eyes and you say, I see the divine in you. And that person receives it and then turns to the person next to them, and you go around the whole circle and you see the divine in every person. And I was just looking at you now and seeing you glow in your eyes, and everything about you, both inside and out, was just feeling so beautiful to me. And that's all I could think about was, see the divine in you. It's just like very, very magical.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So sweet. Oh, so good. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was really a pleasure meeting you both, getting to know you both, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. It's been a great time.